Hey folks, Chris Bosch here from Noble Warrior Leadership Ministry. So as part of my effort to foster community around the training that we're going to be launching here pretty soon, I'm going to take a stab at producing a series of short form videos. And the intent of these videos is to share some insights on some of the courses that folks might find valuable in kind of a short form format. So the challenge for me is to do this in a highly compressed time frame. So we're talking about trying to get videos put out that are less than 5 minutes. For my first attempt, I'm going to explain a concept that's really the centerpiece to my newest training program. It's the Rites of Passage Leadership Training Program. And even more specifically, it's the centerpiece to the first course, which is Making Warriors a Warrior's Rite of Passage. And all of that's kind of built around this idea of living a Christ-centered warrior's ethos. And I know this sounds like heavy-duty theology, but it's not. So you might have heard me say, or maybe even seen it written, that our mission here at the Noble Warrior Leadership Ministry is to train and equip godly warriors. And more precisely, to the point of what we're talking about here, is to instill in these godly warriors and impart on them the attributes of a Christ-centered warrior ethos. So this, of course, begs the question, what are we talking about? What is a Christ-centered warrior ethos? So let's just take that first part, the Christ-centered part. Well, that means seeing ourselves on a journey or an adventure in which we're orienting our walk, that is our movement forward through life, on obedience to Christ as our guiding star. And then as we're on this walk, we're striving to do a number of things. First of all, we're striving to live our best life. We're striving to be the best version of ourselves. We're striving to realize our ultimate potential. And folks, I want you to think of potential as our capacity for productivity. And then finally, we're striving to develop a servant's heart along the way. So in short, you can say that living a Christ-centered life means living our life or walking our walk and doing it in a way in which we are obedient to Christ and we're living and loving like Jesus is probably a good way to look at that. All right, so now what do we mean when we say warrior ethos? And to look at that term, we're going to start with the word warrior. And I think the best definition of this idea of a warrior is provided by an ancient Greek philosopher and a historian, a guy by the name of Heraclitus. And he observed that in battle, of every 100 men, 10 shouldn't be there. And 80, it turns out they're nothing but targets. 9 are real fighters. And folks, we're lucky to have them on the battlefield, for they make the battle. But the one of them is a warrior, and he will bring the others back. And what I think Heraclitus is pointing out here is that, being a warrior is not just about being a brute force fighter. Yes, we need them. They make the battle. But I really believe what he's talking about here, and the warrior that he describes here, is a leader. One who lives by a noble code, a set of disciplines that we call an ethos. And this is the second part of the idea of the warrior ethos. Ethos means character, disposition, and values. And so we can pull it together and we say that the warrior ethos is a state of mind, or it's a code of conduct that says, I will always place my mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. And I will never leave a fallen comrade. And I would suggest that this mantra is a commitment. And it applies to more than just life in the battlefield. It applies to all aspects of a warrior's life. So let's bring these terms together. We talk about Christ-centered warrior ethos. What happens when we pull those together? Well, a Christ-centered warrior's ethos is even more powerful than the warrior ethos that I've just been describing. Okay? It's those same disciplines, it's those same attributes that the warrior exercises, but now we're talking about spirit-filled and supercharged disciplines. It's those same character traits, those same values, that same disposition, but now supernaturally strengthened by the power and might of the Almighty to provide the courage and the strength and the endurance and the tenacity and the perseverance, all of which are necessary, folks, when we want to walk a Christ-centered walk. Folks, you're going to learn about this in more detail in our course, Making Warriors a Warrior's Rite of Passage. And that's coming, I would say, around mid-February. And then we're going to do a deep dive on this concept, in addition to a number of other things. But that's all for now. So until next time, take care. and carry on.